Hear me out for a second. Just hear me out for a second. What if the Philadelphia Eagles don't have as much of a player problem as we think, but more of a coaching problem? This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by the Teespring store. Click the link in the description, get all the Run It Back merch, and use the code RUNMY20 for 20% off. What better time as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, to wear the depressed Philly sports fan t-shirt. Also, I just got done virtual learning day number 3 with my 5-year-old. I'm not going to say the thoughts that express the frustration that's inside my head right now because my YouTube videos will get demonetized. But I'm here to give you sports talk. And if you want to show your appreciation, you can do so by buying me coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/runitback. Thank you to Jake Epstein for the donation, and thank you to Get Stuffed Jersey for the $25 donation. $25 worth of coffee. Thank you. You're the best. You guys are awesome. Let's get into this, man. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Over 50% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. I think that's very rude. I give you these podcast episodes every single day. I think you should give me a subscription. Hit the like button if you like the truth. Hit the dislike button if you're a fraud. Here we go, man. The Eagles wide receivers, specifically the wide receivers, have more of a coaching issue than a skill issue, a talent issue, a player personnel issue. It's becoming blatantly obvious. The Eagles never have any good wide receivers is a coaching issue. It's becoming painfully clear. I just want to make sure I'm still recording. All right, that I remembered to hit the record button. It's just been a day, all right? It's becoming painfully clear that this is more of a coaching issue than a player issue. All right, what are the odds? When I say this, it gives me such Brett Brown vibes. What are the odds that these players have the college careers that they had, get drafted where they get drafted, come into this system specifically, and lose all of their talent like the damn team on I can't think of anything today. The basketball team on Space Jam. You know what I'm saying? The Monstars came in and stole all their talent. What are the odds that actually happens? And what are the odds that it happens every single year when we draft wide receivers? What are the odds? You know what I'm saying here? There's so many things coaching-wise that go into developing wide receivers. We never develop any wide receivers, by the way. I think I said that on a live the other day. I wanted to make sure I said it on a podcast episode. We never develop wide receivers. They come here and they regress. They do not get better. When it comes to route running, when it comes to hands, when it comes to communication, when it comes to effort, when to look for the ball, being on the same page with the quarterback. There's so many things not happening right in practice that make this situation what it is, right? But what are the odds all these players come here and regress? And then some of these players leave here and improve. What are the odds? Not just the wide receivers in that aspect, by the way. Ronald Darby out here making plays. Some of the corners that we've released or cut go to other teams and have success. What the hell's his name, man? I suck today. I'm sorry, guys. All right, let's just first look at this. Nelson Agholor had the best year of his career this season with the Las Vegas Raiders, okay? After being the joke of the town in Philadelphia, Nelson Agholor had the best year of his career. The very next year, the very year that he left the Philadelphia Eagles' pathetic organization, he had the best year of his career. And it is rumored that Nelson Agholor was on a jugs machine every morning at 4:30 a.m. Why would that happen in Las Vegas and not happen in Philadelphia? Right? It's like a competent coaching staff looked at this guy, said, we see the talent, we see the physical ability, we just need to get it out of him. We'll just put the guy on a jugs machine every day, improve the one problem that he's having, which is tracking a ball and catching it, right? All of a sudden he goes to Las Vegas and he's running under 55-yard bombs and catching them like it's nothing. So to put him on a jugs machine at 4:30 a.m., that tells me that the coaching staff came in and just said, well, this is easy. I know what we need to fix here. Just like Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers came in to the Philadelphia 76ers team and said, well, this is easy. I know what we need to do here. Get Al Horford the hell out of here. First of all, spacing is the number one thing in the NBA. I'm not going to get into that, but Nelson Agholor is on a jugs machine every morning at 4:30. All right. Here's Nelson Agholor's stats with the Las Vegas Raiders. He had 48 from the slot, by the way. Okay, a 900-yard receiver from the slot is pretty damn lethal. 48 catches, 896 yards, 8 touchdowns, a career high in yards, a career high in touchdowns, a career high in yards per game. Again, it's becoming painfully obvious to me that this is a coaching issue. This is a development issue. This is the entire organization needs to clean house from top to bottom. And unfortunately, they're not going to do it this season. So we're going to have a whole nother season wearing these t-shirts and the Fire Howie t-shirts when they come out. Yeah. It's absolutely pathetic. I want to bring this up because people want to bring up, well, this is what happens when you have a real quarterback throwing you good balls to catch. That absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. Those are the people that, I don't know what they were watching the past couple seasons, but it's just crazy that Carson Wentz can have one bad season and everybody on the internet acts like he's sucked forever. Like they literally didn't watch anything. They just started watching football this year. I don't know. That's got to be it. If you judge Carson Wentz's entire career off of this one season, I'm calling your bluff. You don't watch football. Period. Derek Carr has had a better career than Carson Wentz. I can't get down with that. You know what I mean? I just can't. So Nelson Agholor's stats with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, let's compare that because 2017 was the closest to his stats with the Las Vegas Raiders, and we all know what happened we all know who was on the team in 2017, who was in the organization in 2017. DeFlippino and Frank Reich. That's a great quarterback coach. That's a great offensive coordinator. It's no shock that 2017 stands out right here more than any other year. Agholor had 62 catches, 768 yards, 8 touchdowns, and his longest catch was 72 yards. It's no wonder that 2017 stands out to me amongst these stats. So his rookie season, he had 283 yards and a touchdown. Okay, that was under Chip Kelly. His 2016, he had 365 yards and 2 touchdowns, 36 catches. 2018, the year after Frank Reich leaves, he has 736 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2019, he has 363 yards and 3 touchdowns, and his longest catch was 43 yards. So we all know Nelson Agholor was the laughing stock in 2016 with all the drop issues, okay? Frank Reich and Flippino turn him around, bring him back to life in 2017. He has these career numbers. Those guys leave. Nelson Agholor trends downward once again. 2019, he has a horrendous year. And 2020, he's revived once again. He has 896 yards, 8 catches, and his longest catch of the year was 85 yards. Now, what are the odds? You start here, you rise up here, those coaches leave, you come back down, you change teams and go to a different coaching staff, and you go back up. I'm just saying. You guys can give me your opinion in the comments if you want to. I'm just saying, what the hell are the odds? Let's talk about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for a second because Here's his college stats, okay? You know, Whiteside, we drafted him over DK Metcalf. I know it's one of the worst things Howie Roseman has ever done, but there was 8 wide receivers taken ahead of DK Metcalf, so it's not like Howie Roseman was the only one to do that. I'm not trying to defend Howie Roseman here. I'm just saying it's not that crazy. In hindsight is always 20/20. You know what I mean? The Sixers should have drafted Tracy McGrady in 97. It's not. Hindsight's 20/20. 8 wide receivers were taken over Metcalf in that draft, okay? This is why Arcega-Whiteside was taken in that draft. Look at him in 12 games with Stanford his senior year. He had 63 catches for 1,059 yards and 14 touchdowns, okay? He was tall. He was a jump ball receiver. He looked like exactly what we wanted to add to this team, a guy that could be an end zone threat, that could be a fade wide receiver. It looked perfect. And we were all on the bandwagon when he was drafted. And then what happens? His first year, he has 10 catches for 169 yards and a touchdown. His second season, in 2020, he has 4 catches for 85 yards. He has 14 catches in 2 years. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing how it's possible for a receiver to have 63 catches for 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns in a D1 program, and then all of a sudden absolutely stink for the first 2 years of his NFL career. And I guarantee you, when we release Arcega-Whiteside or whatever we're going to do with him, I know how he said they're going to try to revive his career or whatever they want to say. They can say that all they want. When we release him or he ends up on a different team or we fire the entire coaching staff, I'm calling it right now, Arcega-Whiteside will magically get all of his talent back, just like Nelson Agholor did when Frank Reich and Flippino were here, and then he moved on to the Raiders. He was revived twice. The same thing's going to happen with Arcega-Whiteside. Jalen Reagor. We draft Jalen Reagor, right? Why? He's one of the fastest players in the draft. He has arguably the fastest 40 time ever. All of these kind of things that we were talking about when we drafted him: speed, athleticism, size, and he's been a massive flop. Again, what are the odds? Every receiver we take is not as good as they looked on film, is not as good as they played in college. I'm just saying. Jalen Reagor, college statistics. 2018 TCU, 72 catches, 1,061 yards, 9 touchdowns. Averaged 13 yards a catch. That's rushing. Averaged 13 yards a run. Averaged 14.7 yards per catch. 1,231 yards from scrimmage, 11 touchdowns. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Reagor for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2020. 31 catches, 396 yards, and a touchdown, average 12.8 yards. Now, he only played 11 games because he was dealing with an injury, which is a whole other story about the Eagles' training programs, the medical staff, whatever else has to go into how many injuries this team has had for the past couple of years. But he only played 11 games. So if we do the math here, he had 400 yards in 11 games, averaged 36 yards a game, okay? So give him 5 more games, right? 5 times 36, that's 150 more yards, okay? So maybe he had 550 if he would have played all 16 games, right? Just by doing the math, that's 550 yards. Is 550 yards, and maybe we'll give him 1 more touchdown. Is 550 yards and 2 touchdowns that impressive for a receiver drafted number 1 overall who you took because you chose not to trade up to draft CeeDee Lamb? And you took ahead of Justin Jefferson, who set the rookie record for receiving yards, 1,400 and some yards in his rookie season. So Jalen Reagor at 550 and Justin Jefferson at 1,400. Is it the player or is it the coaching staff? I'm just saying, right? I can't wrap my mind around that one receiver would be that much better than the other receiver based on what they played like in college. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. All these guys I'm talking about, none of it makes sense. The only thing that stands out to me is the coaching staff. Let's get this over with. Last thing I want to talk about is Travis Fulgham. right? Because Travis Fulgham comes out of nowhere, okay? Carson Wentz doesn't have a number one target. Jalen Reagor is hurt at the beginning of the season. Once he gets on the field, he's just kind of nowhere. He's not there. You hardly see him on the screen most of the game. Deshaun Jackson's injured. Alshon Jeffrey's injured. Carson Wentz has nobody. None. Okay? Travis Fulgham comes out of nowhere. Right? Against San Francisco, his first game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that's his first game. If I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know. He had 2 catches for 3 he had 2 catches on 3 targets for 57 yards. All right. He had a couple long ones, and he had that 42-yard touchdown. And we're like, whoa, who the hell is Travis Fulgham? Okay. And we're like, maybe that's a fluke. That's a guy I've never heard of that came out and put up those numbers and had that game-winning 42-yard touchdown. Okay. The next week against Pittsburgh, he had 10 catches on 13 targets for 152 yards and a touchdown. I find it hard to believe that is a fluke. So now we're all excited. Oh my God, Carson Wentz has a number one receiver. We got a number one receiver that came off the practice squad. This guy looks like a stud. He's snagging balls with his fingertips like Odell Beckham Jr. You know what I'm saying? I know that's an exaggeration, but he looks like an absolute stud. Right? Does he fall off after that? Next game, he has 6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. That's not a fall off. That's still a pretty damn good game. Next game, he has 5 catches for 73 yards. The next game, he has 6 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. He put up numbers for 5 straight games. And we think Carson Wentz now has a number one target. And then it comes out that Alshon Jeffrey's returning. And we're all like, if he takes away Travis Fulgham's snaps for Alshon Jeffrey, who hasn't played for 2 seasons, that is sending a message to the young guy, the wrong message to the young guy, the wrong message to the team that the hardest worker and the guy producing the most doesn't get rewarded. It's the player who's paid the most gets put on the field no matter what. And what happens after that? The very next week, the week that Alshon Jeffrey returns, he has 1 catch for 8 yards. The next week, 1 catch for 8 yards. The next week, 2 catches for 16. The next week, none. The next week, 2 catches for 30, 2 catches for 27. What are the odds Travis Fulgham just completely fell off the same way Arcega-Whiteside fell off after college, the same way Jalen Reagor fell off after college, the same way Nelson Agholor was this high under Frank Reich, fell off when Frank Reich left, and now he's back up here with a different coaching staff. I'm just saying, what are the odds? This Philadelphia Eagles organization needs to clean house. Why in the world would they want to make us watch this? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because they're friends. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Doug Peterson are all friends. They might not be geniuses, and they think they are. Okay, the smartest guy in the room syndrome. The guy with the most money always thinks he's smarter than everyone. We already know that, right? Howie Roseman thinks he's smarter than everyone. Doug Peterson thinks he's smarter than everyone because he won a Super Bowl. These 3 have issues that they don't see because they're only talking to each other and they think everyone else is stupid, right? So they're sitting in a room having a meeting and they're saying, well, they're saying this out here. These guys are saying this. The reporters are saying this, this, and this. All these people are idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about. I'm the millionaire, the billionaire that owns a team, or I'm the coach that won the Super Bowl. I know what I'm talking about. So they're going to blame everything else until it comes down to that. They're going to blame everyone else for a long time. This might take another season where they try to fix things. All right, they're not admitting that Carson Wentz relationship is fractured. Howie Roseman's out here saying, no, it's cool. We're fine. Carson Wentz is fine. The relationship is fine. Carson Wentz's camp is sending completely other messages. Carson Wentz refuses to talk to the media after the last game. Carson Wentz wants out. The writing is on the wall. It's completely obvious. We have a coaching staff and a front office that's completely lying to the people, saying the relationship is fine. What do you guys think we're stupid? You really think we're idiots? That we're going to see all these signs, all these red flags, and just believe you? Oh, Howie Roseman said the relationship's fine, so it's fine. Oh, Doug Peterson said the relationship's fine, so it's fine. It's not fine. But the problem is it's going to take a long time before Jeffrey Lurie looks at one of them and says, all right, guys, we tried everything else. you're kind of the issue. It's time to go. It's time to do something else. It's going to take Jeffrey Lurie a long time to do that, man. Just, this is pathetic and aggravating. Give me all your thoughts and opinions in the comments. My name is DJ Eastwood. Thank you for listening to Run It Back Philly. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give me a rating and a review, please. Thank you very much. Have a great day.